Hello, welcome to Innovated. My name is Luke and we are in a CFS crash. We need to get this overview out of the way, which is our system. But I'm tired. I literally am just in PJs and I threw on Zane's jacket. He's not here, he won't be that upset. We're going to try to film as much of this as we can because we can't sleep. And we're gonna just try to get this uploaded as soon as possible. So, again, it is Luke right now. Basically what this video is going to be, we're not going to explain every single altar because there is so many of us, but we are going to explain our subsystems. So first of all, subsystems are basically systems within systems. That's the easiest way to put it. I am sure future Luke will have a better description somewhere. Space shuttle subsystem is my subsystem. Basically what we're going to do, basically what this video is going to be is I am going to, well, not just me and all the gatekeepers who are like, basically we have a bunch of gatekeepers. I'm doing better, there's someone else do it.
Oh my god. Hi, I am Azeal. We're all Kokon, and Luke is having a moment right now. We are very tired due to CFS, but also unable to sleep because we've been sleeping so much the past few days. Basically, what this video is going to be is we are going to be explaining all of our subsystems because we have 16 subsystems total, and we have 11 subsystems that are going to be mentioned by name in detail in this video. So we're gonna basically go in order. We have the people who are talking about each subsystem. We have our list right here written in red pen. Thank you, Luke. And we're just gonna go through each subsystem, and each gatekeeper from that subsystem is going to explain kind of what their subsystem is, because our inner world is very rich. We have multiple different dimensions, inner world. Our inner world lore, you could say, I don't really know a better term for it, goes pretty deep. Pseudo-memories are pretty intense. Most of us are non-human. I myself am a centaur, and we're having an extremely difficult time with English today for some reason. There are a few of us who are human, but most of the humans in our system are cyborgs. Like, they are part human and not full human. I lost my train of thought because the heat kicked on. It was like yellow real fast.
It's Lizzie. Hi. We have a lot of people Kokon right now. But basically we're going to explain all of the different subsystems and explain where they are in relation to the dimensions. We will do another video that goes into specifically the like lore and history of the dimensions inner world, because we have can you go back inside a little bit, honey? So first up is actually me, and Rez and Logan are going to be popping in to help me here. There's Logan. You just told me to go inside. I know, because ticks, they're not that bad. For you. I don't normally have very many ticks. But yeah, so basically, we are the Time Rift subsystem. Okay, so most of the people you have been seeing on this channel so far have been from my subsystem. Before all the subsystems started working together, we had okay. Before we had all the subsystems working together, we ended up having just one subsystem in control at a time. So basically, that tick is ridiculous, Logan. Can you go inside? Yeah. Okay. But we used to have just one subsystem in charge, and until Okay, I'm still getting it passive influenced, I guess. But until we started working in therapy and all trying to work together, we only had one subsystem fronting at a time, and part of our healing process is for each of the subsystems to be able to coexist and all kind of take turns, because we're all important aspects to the body. We don't really have a host. So we kind of just have, like, I can't take myself seriously right now. I'm talking about something very serious, and I sound like fucking SpongeBob. Can you? No piano cat. Okay, so, first of all, the reason my subsystem is the time rift subsystem is because my subsystem kind of holds multiple different alters from multiple different timelines, so to speak, and each of the timelines correspond to a specific time in our life or a specific feeling. Most of the alters in my subsystem are kind of stuck in the past in some aspect. They may not be at 100% stuck in the past, and we're working to get all the alters who are originally from my subsystem dispersed into other subsystems, because other subsystems right now... I will join you. And he knocked over a pen. I was trying to play music with you and you ruined it. I love you. I do that sometimes. There's two pianos now, so if my cat walks on one of them, I play the other. Yeah, okay. But, so, yeah. Basically, a lot of alters from my subsystem are kind of stuck in the past. My phone ran out of storage. We're still filming on our phone because I forgot to charge my camera's batteries. My subsystem has an assortment of species because they are alters who initially were a part of a different subsystem and then got stuck in these time rifts at some point for some reason due to some trauma they experienced. Because my subsystem is like every individual, like there's multiple different pocket dimensions that make up the time rifts. And they are areas where like two dimensions overlap. So like Caltiera and Sadoa can overlap, and that creates a pocket dimension, and that's where the time rift is. Which is why it's a time rift and why time functions so weird. So next is Azeal or Garrett. Who wants to go first? I will. Okay. Hi, I'm Garrett. So I am the dimension leader of Caletiera, which is the third dimension. My subsystem is the only one we're aware of in my dimension. There is a giant red planet, which is what my planet is. Caletiera is the planet, not the dimension. That it's in the third dimension though. My planet predominantly has 3 species: Tiltas, Adderos, and Gaia-lakes. And there is, in my subsystem, there is a language. We speak Kalan, and Kalan is a language we can speak in the body. It is not a real language. It's something we can only speak to each other. I'm a little bit self-conscious about speaking it on camera, so I don't think I'm going to. But basically, we have 2 dialects of that language internally because it is a very big planet, and there are 2 sort of factions on the planet which have recently learned to coexist, which was part of healing
for us was allowing the two separate, almost, yeah, faction is a good word. Again, we don't speak English. So there's two different factions that were kind of warring each other constantly, but we've recently learned to coexist and kind of stop having an ongoing civil war. And that's been part of healing. So initially, my subsystem had a lot of... Come here. What? Yeah. Also, I want to establish real quick, we are not switching right now. We are co-conscious, and we are changing the level of co-conscious. So we are changing who is co-fronting, but not who is co-conscious. So we are all remaining co-conscious, which is why we are able to continue one train of thought as we're all up here at the same time together. This is something that we have worked on in therapy. This would never have happened even a month ago. We kind of went and got some system stuff figured out, really worked on things in therapy. We're currently in our last stretch. The gatekeepers have taken over of the system for a little bit, and we are currently in our last little stretch of getting everything kind of jolted to be organized, and then we're slowly going to be having more fusions. Right, yes, but so, yeah, so, what's that? Note to self. Note to selves. Don't put tripod on pillow, you dumbass, Lizzie. Leave me alone! I just gotta play with him. Alright. So. This is why I make our videos seem kind of like found footage documentaries. Not exactly, but a little bit. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I was talking about the warring, factions, healing, we went through it. Wujja looks directly at the camera. This cat is derailing this whole video. We're just gonna retitle this video, Wujja Takes Over. Hi, my name is First. Our arm randomly just got in a lot of pain. I have a higher pain tolerance, so while this is flaring up a little bit, I am going to be here and also smoke. It's mainly CBD. Hi. Are you here now? Yeah. Are we gonna sit down maybe? Why don't you sit down with me, okay? Why don't you just lay here for a second? What if we do that, huh? Yeah. I love you. So Wujja needs attention, apparently. Okay. So, my name is First, and I am the primary gatekeeper of Talo. Talo is a dimension. It is different than the other dimensions. Not all of them. We have a few dimensions like this. Mine's one of the less common dimensions, though. I don't know who's petting the cat, but it's making them very happy. But we are the 9th dimension, and my dimension is literally just an expanse of land. It's like a giant plain. It's like a giant plane that has a bunch of that has a bunch of more, like, I would say gentle colors. It's very funny because the environment is very gentle and almost soft and sweet. It's a lot of lilacs and like peach and rose colors, but the atmosphere at least used to be very rough. It still is very rough. My subsystem is a majority of reforming persecutors and sexual protectors, which means that it's a bunch of alters who, when hurting, tend to hurt themselves and other alters, as well as the body. Persecutor alters are not alters who would hurt other people. They just tend to be more self-destructive. So that is basically what my subsystem is. We did film something that we might use at some point somewhere, which was my subsystem just basically sitting and rapid switching in front of a camera and having a smoke session. So we might upload smoke session with Talo if we can film it into a coherent video. And a lot of people from my subsystem are going to need to fuse. However, a lot of us are also very strong. Most of us are extremely badass because we've been in a lot of situations where we had to be. He's gonna fall off my lap if he's not careful. That would be funny. But yeah, so I'm basically in charge of everything there, and I myself am a subsystem. So everyone in the fronting room right now is like, whoa, First is so different right now. Yes, I'm a subsystem. None of us really have names. We're all very distinctly different. We have a couple gatekeepers who have that issue. I am a subsystem in a different way than we are talking about, though, because the subsystems we have been talking about are alters who are grouped off separately in our world. The subsystem I am an alter who has alters. So internally, I have one body, and I have multiple different alters. And I don't front very much to interact with people, but I figured I would be best to film this because I am the one who does most of the hard work, gatekeeping-wise, in order of keeping track of all the details of people in my subsystem and things they need and that sort of thing.
I love you. I love you so much. You too. Oh, yeah. Mwah. Mwah. Good kitty. Ow. Sorry. No more pets. Okay.
It was a little petting the cat. That was so cute. We might keep that in. I'm not gonna say the little's name though. Wujja got a bit overstimulated and he bit us because we were petting him. Where was I? That was so cute. Oh, that was so cute. One of the other gatekeepers here is also a subsystem who has a little in their system, and I'm not gonna say which alter it is because we're not disclosing our littles or who you could potentially get a little from. But basically, yeah, that was very cute. She has been fronting more and able to interact, and like, she really likes the cat. And it just makes me happy to see that. That really touched my heart. Right, my subsystem, we also have our own... Okay. Alright. This video really was just the center of attention this time. This is a good way to get to know our system though. Wujja is our baby. And sometimes he gets mad about kisses, but also gets mad that we're not pet. I don't know. He's weird. But yes. We also have our own language in Talo. It is called Talon. That is the same as our species. We're also Talon. Pretty simple there. I basically just said, I am the leader of Well, I mentioned Disha, which is, my city is broken into multiple, or sorry, my dimension is broken into multiple different cities. Basically, we have like a main leader of each city, and I am that leader, of Disha. And yeah, I basically just said I am the leader of Disha. It is nice to meet you. We might, I don't know, it might be fun to do a video entirely in Disha. Entirely in Disha, entirely in Talon. I'm dissociating.
Sorry, I didn't realize that was gonna interrupt you that much.
It's okay, Timbre. Timbre coming into the body causes us a lot of dissociation, and we're actually very dizzy now.
I don't know why it does it. I'm the only one up here who that happens to since we've had the system takeover. I have been the only person who has had this much of a difficulty coming front. I don't really like fronting either, probably because I feel sick all the time when I front, because I'm like dizzy and nauseous for a little bit every time I come front. First was done with Talo and had given the thumbs up for whoever was next. They decided I was. So, hi, I'm Timbre. I was a lot further back than everyone else. So me coming front was a little intense. But I am the primary gatekeeper, I guess you could say, of my subsystem. And my subsystem is, I'm gonna call it the cool planet because we don't want to say the name of it. So my subsystem is the cool planet, which makes up a dimension nicknamed duality, and it's called duality because we have my planet and then we have my planet, and my planet is, I guess if you're calling yours the cool planet, we're gonna call mine the hot planet. I'm Lady. I'm the primary protector and gatekeeper of the hot planet. Basically, our two planets kind of complement each other in a way, as we have, my subsystem holds a lot of anxiety and anger and more really like hot-headed explosive emotions, but recently we've had more fusions and my subsystem has been created into kind of just a living space for other people. So duality used to be somewhere for people who have a lot of breakdowns and aren't able to handle really intense emotions, such as also mania. We have a lot of people who hold hallucinations and manic things in my subsystem, whereas mine is the exact opposite. It would be more so the depression. The camera angle has changed because you are sitting on the table now instead of the pillow, because I didn't want to disturb Wujja twice. I don't know what just happened. I just got a notification that stopped the recording, so I needed to restart it. But yeah, so I already mentioned mine, and then again I mentioned mine, the cold planet. That's where I was. So the cold planet has mainly alters who are depressed, and there's a lot of suicidal ideation and some trauma from points in our life where we have been very, very bad space mentally. However, once again, like Lady, my subsystem has now become a place for people to kind of just live and heal, and we've been able to kind of overcome some of our depression and have some more fusions. A lot of us are a lot stronger now and able to handle a lot more. So you're going to be seeing some people who are actually from the cold planet.
Alright, I guess it is my turn. Hi, my name is Vincent. I am a fictive, however I don't really associate with my source. Fictives are fictional introjects, and factives are factional introjects. I'm just gonna spout that off right off the top. I am the primary gatekeeper of Amalgam, and Amalgam is a dimension made up of 56 different planets, and every individual planet has a different combination of fictive and factive sources. All of our introjects reside in this one dimension. We have suspected ASD and ADHD. We have not been diagnosed with either, but we've had numerous doctors and therapists we've worked with. We haven't been officially diagnosed with either, but we have had multiple professionals we've worked with say that they think that's what's going on. But if anyone knows anything about trying to get diagnosed with autism as an adult, that's all I'm going to say on that. I don't really think I need to establish it. Basically, we have a lot of hyperfixations, and due to that prior neurodivergence, we have a tendency to hyperfixate on media, and to survive trauma, a lot of times what we would hyperfixate on, we would view ourselves in the situation of the characters there. So it would be like, I am escaping from my trauma by instead worrying about, for example, my source. I am Dr. Stephen Strange. Fictives are not okay, I just lost my train of thought for a second. Fictives are not he loves you, Wujja. He's mad. Okay, right, so in my subsystem, basically, we have a lot of fictives and factives due to the fact that through our trauma, we were hyperfixating on those sources, so our brain basically created their version of the character because it was safer to be that character and deal with troubles such as fighting Thanos, for example, than deal with the actual reality of our situation in real life. Basically, my subsystem is a wide range of alters. The only thing they have in common is that they're introjects of some sort, or are from the source in some other ways. We have a few fictives from stories we actually created, because we have also, ever since we were a child, created our own fiction and our own stories, and we even used to tell our younger sister bedtime stories every night that were like recurring, and this actually ended up becoming part of our inner world, so it's kind of confusing whether the inner world part was created first or if we told the stories first, but regardless, they're also an amalgam. That's Cloudsville and Atlantis are from the bedtime stories we used to tell our younger sister, and there is a planet Earth that's a mock Earth. It's Earth Mach 2. I know it's weird to call it Mach 2 because it's spelled M-O-C-K, but like Mach 2 is like going the speed of sound, and I find that interesting. Our brain clicks onto things weird, and it's really funny that we have some names like that. But yeah, that's basically all you need to know about amalgam. Look, make Azeal go first. I literally can't hear any of you. Can you talk in the body?
Okay, well, Azeal is helping a little right now.
Fuck, alright, well I guess I'm going now. Hi, I'm Novak. I am the primary protector, primary caretaker, and primary gatekeeper of Lavar. Lavar is a planet. I don't know.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ, let me do it. Hi, I'm Vixen. Novak is my brother. I am a fused alter. I, had a group fusion with a lot of people, and I actually go by both Vixen and the Pianist. I have 2 names, lucky me. But I'm Novak's brother, one of my fused parts is, and I still hold a lot of that. That's where the name Vixen comes from. Lavar is a very hot planet. It's very volcanic. A lot of the species on Lavar are very insect-like. For example, my brother still does, and my former self, Vixen, looked like pretty much giant cockroaches. Basically, we will do a drawing of it and put that on Instagram at some point in a long time. But we have a lot of different alters who are very insect-like that live on this very hot volatile planet. And we're not really sure what it symbolizes. Honestly, we're not 100% sure. There's a bit of trauma that's hidden here, which we're not going to go into, obviously, so I'm not going to give details of a lot of things, but what I am going to say is there are 2 different languages spoken in Lavar, which we can also speak in the body. I cannot speak either of them in the body since I fused. I lost that knowledge probably because I fused between multiple different subsystems. But Novak can, but he won't. He does not really like talking, and he didn't really want to do this. He was going to do it because it's important to kind of get it all out there, because we're also doing this not just for YouTube, but also for others in our system who aren't as aware of the other subsystems. We're kind of sitting down, doing it all at once. He wanted to do it for that, but not for YouTube, so that's why I stepped in. We're working on reforming a lot of persecutors, but it's going really well. We have a giant reformation center, and a lot of people are learning. So that is a very good thing. Okay. Hi, I'm Vortex. And we totally didn't mention that there was gonna be another switch. We're doing this thing where we're like, well, that's all I have to say, and then just switching, I guess, to talk about the next subsystem. So the next subsystem is Treva. And Treva is actually a moon that orbits Lavar. So on my subsystem, there is an entire different 2 species, Trent and Drakes, and Trent and Drakes used to war each other, rival. It was almost like, it's almost more like 2 separate species that were so separate that they adapted and evolved to, because our moon is split into kind of different types of atmospheres. So they had to adapt to their environment. Both are extreme environments. One's very cold, one's very warm. There's a lot of redundancy in some of the subsystems. I'm now realizing as we're laying this out and talking about it all at once, I'm like, wow. Are you all done cuddling? Thank you. I'm gonna fix the camera angle now. Basically, there's not really a lot I want to say about my subsystem, to be quite frank. Just, if someone is Drake or Trent, they are initially from Treva. There is also another moon that orbits Lavar with us, that we pass frequently, and that moon is actually an altar. The altar's name is Nova, and it is a moon, but everyone on Lavar thinks it's a star, so they're sitting here now going, Nova's a moon? Luke and Vitality or Azeal?
I guess I'll go now. We'll leave the spatial subsystem last. Hi, it's Azeal again. I am the gatekeeper, primary protector, and primary caretaker of Sadoa. Sadoa is the 5th dimension. Sadoa is very mystical, very purple. The sky is purple. It goes from lilac in the morning to like a deep violet at night. It's never fully dark due to the atmosphere, which is composed of iodine. We are also all iodine-based life forms, which is very fascinating. However, Sadoa is a plane similar to, who said that? I did. Talo. Okay, yeah, similar to Talo. So, it's just an expansive plane. This plane is purple. It's not a planet. There's no stars or anything. It's like this expanse of gas that has created an atmosphere and ground, and like there's all sorts of stuff, but it feels a little bit dreamlike. There are many different like districts in Sadoa. The district where I am from is called Felon. Felon is in the middle of a forest, and the forest is home to what is considered the Well of Magic. However, there's multiple languages for different species. So I know that people can speak Elvish in the body, because we have our version of Elvish. And I know that I've heard Principe speak Elvish in the body to his boyfriend before. I don't think I can speak Feva externally, but it is a language internally. I've never tried to speak it externally, and I don't want to try that for the first time on camera. It's weird to be able to think in a language you can't speak. Our brain is very weird. The different species, there are 74 different species in Sadoa of altars. Sadoa is a very, very large subsystem. And all of the species kind of have their own leader, and then there's one main leader who everyone kind of explains things to function for front, and that's who I am. So I think that's about it for Sadoa. Your turn, Luke.
Alright, finally, hopefully I can actually do this, but I tried to do the intro to this video and I failed miserably. I am Luke, and I am the primary gatekeeper of Space Shuttle Subsystem with Vitality Cocon, and the Space Shuttle Subsystem is basically a giant spaceship, and we can travel between multiple different dimensions. Now, we've worked up the ability to do that, and basically a bunch of altars from all over the place. You have all sorts of different stories. Basically, in our inner world, there at one point was a giant interdimensional war, and there was a lot of refugees, and the spaceship took in a lot of these refugees, and so we have a combination of numerous different species from numerous different backgrounds, and it's very interesting. Actually, when you look at it, I myself am I don't like saying I'm technically not a cyborg, but I am. I'm like, okay, so we don't consider someone a cyborg unless you are 10% or more machine, and I'm only 5% machine. So I'm technically not a cyborg, but also by modern day standards, see, I would be, but I'm not, because also, obviously, I'm just in this body. When we're saying that we're all these different species, it's not something where it's like, I genuinely am. It's like my brain processes it that way because it helps us to explain our experiences and understand ourselves as who we are to be different species. But basically, the Space Shuttle Subsystem is very interesting because you have a bunch of people who are all basically have escaped and fucking hate the politics, because all of the dimensions have their own very ridiculous politics. Used to have dictators, most of them. Talo did specifically, and then it broke into the districts. It's very interesting, but I speak actually rather interesting because I learned Talon first. It's my first language. Then I learned English from a Irish and Scottish couple. One of them was Irish and one of them was Scottish. They are in our system. They don't want to be on camera, so I'm not going to say their names. And they taught me English, and then I returned to Taylor, and so my accent is a mix of Taylor and Irish and Scottish. It's very interesting. And Luke is fucking with it because he's Kokon. Yeah, it's just a bit though, it's not that bad. But yeah, so my subsystem, basically, we are all basically the opposite of the time rifts, and they have left whatever dimension they were in to head towards the present and towards the future and to heal. And it's been very vitally important that we've been able to do that for ourselves. And my subsystem is where most of us want to be, so my subsystem has become primarily in charge, as in my subsystem is in charge 50% of the time, the other subsystems are in charge, split evenly between them, about 50% of the time. And obviously that's not an exact estimate, that is just the easiest way to explain it, because all of the subsystems are now trying to be Kokon, as we have recently reorganized the system, and we just need to finish the official system map, and then everyone else gets to come back in. And that's where we are now. So this was a very long video, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I also know that I will be cutting a shit ton out of this. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to like the video and subscribe. We also have all of our links in the link tree in our description. If you love Wujja, you should also follow Wujja's a Cat. One person. I'll do it. Hi, I'm Logan. I've done an outro before, and I'm trying to passively influence things, and people are trying to fix it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. Please. I thrive on validation, and likes are my only I'm kidding. But actually, I would really appreciate it if you like the video, like it, please comment, and again, if YouTube turns off the comments, please tell us so we can turn them back on. And follow Wujja's Instagram at Wujja is a Cat. He gets up to some crazy shit. He like thinks he's a god or something. What? But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Stay cool, cats. No!